First things first, the title is a lie. I know. You're mad, but you're not gonna stay mad. I just did a super fun 2024 wrap-up video with my wife. You can check it out up here. And in that video, I recounted my absolute most worn fragrances for the year of 2024. And I highly recommend you go check it out if you missed it. Now, it's not impossible that the 8 fragrances I'm gonna share with you may be among some of my most worn for the year of 2025. But without some concerted effort, it is unlikely. So as I like to do, I'm using this unlikeliness as a bit of a challenge. I'm going to be featuring these 8 phenomenal fragrances that I simply forgot I had. And as a result, I have not worn nearly as much as they deserve, and thus they haven't gotten nearly as much limelight on my channel as they deserve.
Welcome to the reality of being a fragrance reviewer and getting new fragrances every single week.
So I'm challenging myself to wear these 8 fragrances more often this year. And who knows, maybe they'll rank among some of my top most worn fragrances for the year. Everything's going to be linked down in the description if you want to try anything yourself. Let's dive right into it. The first one up here is a twofer. You're getting 2 fragrances for the price of 1. And by price, I mean free, because you watch these videos for free. You're welcome. From Guerlain, we have these 2 Parfum flankers, Rouge Parfum and Vetiver Parfum. I frankly forgot I had these fragrances, so I haven't really been wearing them for months and months. They got a little bit of feature earlier on in the year, but they've been pretty quiet ever since. And I'm gonna make an effort to give these guys some love because they are phenomenal fragrances. I think Guerlain did a phenomenal job with these Parfum flankers. I think it's Delphine Jelk, who is one of the in-house perfumers at Guerlain, who did these fragrances. And as you would expect, these Parfum flankers are more richer, denser, and slightly different personalities on the originals. Rouge Parfum is a perfect fragrance for the deep winter, which is coming upon us very soon where I live. It is a sweet, warm, rich vanilla fragrance. It does have a woodiness to it, maybe a touch of a boozy quality. If you look at the notes, you don't see much, but it does feature that signature Guerlain accord, which is this creamy, almost powdery, sweet, floral combination of ingredients that creates just this one signature accord. It does smell pretty reminiscent to the original Rouge, which can be kind of hard for a lot of people to pull off, myself included. I gotta be in the mood for that one. It does have a little bit of this vintage stuffiness to it that I actually happen to like, but I'm just not always trying to reach for it. And this definitely brings it a little bit more into the modern world, kind of tones down that stuffiness, but it does keep the magic of Rouge. Makes it more dense. It just hangs in the air in a different way. It smells very put together. You smell wealthy wearing this one. And Vetiver Parfum, I would say, is a lot easier to approach than Rouge. The original Vetiver from Guerlain is timelessly classic, along with Rouge, but I would say that the original Vetiver is a lot easier for anyone to really approach these days. Even if you're not crazy about Vetiver, it's a very easy to understand green, grassy, fresh, citrusy vetiver. This tones down on the brightness. It is still green and grassy. It really goes all in on the grassiness, maybe even a little bit smoky. I think, as I've said before, if you know the fragrance Nichane Sultan Vetiver, it is in that realm of vetiver. It does have a smoky, grassy feel, so it does double down on the vetiver here, but it has this very interesting sweetness. I think it's from licorice, maybe even a touch of tonka bean, almost mentholic, vanillic sweetness in the background, very much behind the green, smoky, grassy woodiness that adds this nuance, this dimension that is so interesting and so enjoyable. So all that being said, I plan on enjoying these 2 Guerlain fragrances a whole lot more this year. How it actually shakes up in terms of the numbers, we'll see, but they deserve to be worn. Let me know if you dig these. From the house of Zaharoff, another fragrance I simply forgot I had in my collection, and I'm ashamed to say I forgot about it because even just looking at the bottle, I should have been drawn to this and worn it a lot more, but unfortunately it was kind of in the back of my shelf, so I just didn't really see it very much. Signature Black Rose Halfeti. I mean, you'll see in the B-roll just how stunning this bottle plate is. If you get it in your hand, you'll feel it. This is one of the heaviest bottles I think you'll really experience. The detail, the ornate quality, just the color scheme, the art here is absolutely top-notch, over the top. George Zaharoff does not hold back when it comes to the details, and if you get your hands on a bottle of this, you'll see what I mean. But what does it smell like? Man, this smells like, to me, the original signature Pour Homme, the beautiful, almost clean soapiness of that fougere, but it adds this beautiful dimension of this dry, crisp smelling black rose. It's not very sweet, it's not very jammy, it is on the fresher side, and there's this unmistakable dry floral quality, almost like the dryness of petals or something. It's hard to describe, but it's incredible stuff, and it smells like nothing else out there aside from Signature Pour Homme really carving itself deeper and deeper into this very unique lane that the Signature line has created. A beautiful rendition from that line, and one I will be wearing more this year. Let me know if you've tried it. If you haven't, there will be a link down below, maybe with a little discount code to save some money at Zaharoff's website. Check it out. I've had this bottle in my collection for years now, at least 3, maybe 4 years, and admittedly I've been neglecting it for most of that time. You'll see in the bottle that there's not much of a dent here. I've worn it a handful of times, but it's a fragrance I've always really liked, even though it's kind of weird. It's a weird, strange scent, but it's also very authentic smelling and comforting and just intriguing, and it just captivates me. This is from Théo Cabanel. This is called Je ne sais quoi. You don't see much talk about this house or this fragrance in particular. This is an odd one, but man, if you're looking for something odd, if you're looking for a non-sweet gourmand, that might sound weird, but let me explain what I mean. This is something you need to check out. This is rice green matcha tea. I get this herbal green feel. I do get this bready rice, especially up top. It's pretty prominent, and it dries down kind of milky, almost creamy, lactonic. It smells like puffy rice with green matcha tea, and it's beautiful. It's kind of transportive, but it does smell like something that does belong on the skin. So it's not just this art for art's sake kind of scent. I think there's functional wear here, but a few of you are gonna like this. Most of you will probably find it a little bit strange, but I always have known I've liked it, so I've always held on to it, and I'll be trying to give it some wear in 2025. Let me know what you think if you've tried Je ne sais quoi from Théo Cabanel. We have a rich, powerful fragrance up next. This one is a powerhouse. This one is a big dog. This is from Pantheon Roma. They call it Extrait, and it is technically a flanker to their Raffaello, which is a beautiful, very unique fragrance that I also have. However, to me, it smells absolutely nothing like Raffaello, which is a little head scratching, but still smells amazing. This is a rich, resinous, ambery leather fragrance with these sweet strawberry touches, maybe some rhubarb. It does smell like it leans towards like traditional Middle Eastern perfumery, that rich, woody, ambery quality you get out of fragrances like Calamot Black or Ragba Wooden Tints. It is in that direction, but not all the way there. It does have a richness to it, but it's not bombastic. There's something very elegant about it, but it is dark, rich, sweet, very welcoming, but very sophisticated. Can't wait to get to know this more. I've always liked it. I just haven't seen it all the way in the back, somewhere over here. That's Extrait. I've been raving about this next house for years now. I remember first smelling them back in 2018. It was one of the first videos I made coming back to making videos after taking about a 6-month hiatus. If you're new here, then maybe you didn't even know that. But if you go back to 2018, you'll see a gap. And once again, one of the first videos I did coming back was the house of Masque Milano. I did a whole discovery set, discovery that no one really cared about when I made it, and few have gone back to see. Since then, the house has really been on my radar, creating some artistic, very interesting, beautiful, art-filled fragrances. This one I've honestly maybe worn one time, and that's in the past 2-3 years. They call it White Whale. Oh my gosh. What an interesting take on an aquatic. Salty ambergris, this sweet, almost fruit-like osmanthus flower. It is a little bit aquatic in a way. There's this ocean feel, like ocean air. There's a freshness to it, but it is kind of dense. Oh man, it's just a very unique take on a salty aquatic scent. Unlike anything I've really tried myself. I have seen people compare it to Beach Hut Woman from Amouage. Honestly, I can't really speak on that comparison because I haven't tried Beach Hut Woman, but I've heard amazing things nonetheless. This is a unique take on a salty aquatic. If you're looking for one, has a beautiful story behind it that's worth reading up on if you're into that sort of thing, and it's one that I need to wear and talk about more in 2025. Let me know if you're one of those few who already appreciate this one. That is Masque Milano White Whale. Now I'll be honest with you, the house of Roja Parfum often comes under fire because their fragrances are touted as being high quality and really well put together, but maybe not always the most original. And there's stories and reasons behind that, and you know, you follow whatever rabbit you want to follow, but every now and then the brand does and has come out with a fragrance that I believe is almost like no other, really stands out as a beautiful piece of art in their collection, a great representation of what is possible from a luxury brand such as Roja. And this is Manhattan Eau de Parfum. It did did originally come out, I believe, as a Parfum with a black label. It was a limited edition. They sold that out as far as I know, and then they brought it back as an EDP. I didn't try the Parfum, so I can't compare it to that. But the more I've sprayed this fragrance here and there over the past year or two, the more I've been reminded, man, this is one of those fragrances that they make that is different and very special. This is an airy, kind of leafy, earthy, but fresh in a way, sweet tobacco vanilla kind of feel. It's so soft and elegant. It just lingers in this carefree way that is unmistakably classy. Also perfectly unisex if you're asking me. I will say my wife has given this some more love than I have, so I need to give it what it deserves on my skin. I plan to do so this winter, this spring. I think it even works on summer nights because of its lightness. But don't be fooled. The fact that it doesn't scream off the skin and take over the nostrils doesn't mean it doesn't last, because I thought that it was kind of a weak fragrance. But it actually sticks around most of the evening into the morning. The few times I've worn it out during the nighttime, I've smelled it on me the next day. If that is a concern for you, then that was my experience. Yours may not be the same, but it could. Anyway, that is Roja Manhattan Eau de Parfum. Beautiful stuff. From the French house of Houbigant, this is a classic house. They've been around for centuries, if I'm not mistaken. And this fragrance is often compared to one from Creed. I have the Creed, and I can say that these two are similar. This is Bois Mystique from Houbigant. I don't know if it was intended to smell like Royal Oud. It is possible. But either way, it is significantly different. Bois Mystique, I would say, is a little bit more complex, has a little bit more going on. It smells like a cedar wood, a dry, peppery wood, made slightly sweet, maybe a little herbal and slightly fresh even. Some spices going on in there. Just smells really refined, very masculine. I only wore this one time last year. I really enjoyed it, and I meant to come back to it. The next time I almost did, I ended up wearing Royal Oud and enjoyed it. And I think I do prefer Royal Oud to this one, but I've talked about Royal Oud a lot. That one is no stranger to my rotation, but this one is beautiful and different enough to warrant some more wear and love in 2025. So I'll see what I can do. And this is, so people know, the Eau de Parfum extreme version. I think there's also an Extrait de Parfum version. So this is the EDP, in case you're wondering. That is Houbigant Bois Mystique. And this final fragrance, man, I don't think you're really going to see anyone talking about this fragrance. I've featured it in a few videos here and there over the past couple of years, but I think it's been at least a year since it's been in a video. And this stuff swept me away at first spray, at first wear, and I don't know why I haven't talked about it outside of the fact that it's just been in the back of the shelf, and I've just been getting a lot of new stuff ever since. But man, I'm so happy to rediscover this and to give it the love it deserves for 2025 from the under-discussed house of Lark. This is called Argentium Halo de Lune. And man, this is such a gorgeous, attractive, kind of alluring, sexy blend of something that smells accessible but different. It is its own thing. It's based around a heart of soft oud. That oud is made a little spicy with some nutmeg and some saffron. There's a little bit of spicy orange when you first spray it on, cardamom and orange working together, making it a little bit balsamic, sweet, and definitely spicy, and a touch of freshness. And it dries to this warm amberwood dominant musky base, maybe a little bit of sandalwood in there for some smoothness. But amberwood is what really dominates this, which is a more modern ingredient that we've seen come across a lot of fragrances over the past few years. It is an aroma chemical, but it gives a certain character that doesn't feel unnatural in this particular fragrance. It just kind of envelops the scent in this warm, sweet woodiness. But in the air, it all just melds together as this beautiful blend that is, again, pretty captivating. Definitely something that may get people asking about you. I love this stuff, and I'm embarrassed to say I haven't been wearing it that much because it really deserves some feature. That is Lark Argentium Halo de Lune. Once again, all 9 and not 8 of these fragrances are going to be linked in the description if you want to try them for yourself. I would love to know what you think of them. If you've tried them, let me know in the comments. And thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.